Hi guys, I wanted to take a quick moment and talk to you about uploading documents specifically inside of an opportunity. It's going to be more in depth than a basic overview, so bear with me and enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we are going to get started. And I'm going to turn my video off because you don't need me. So right now we are inside of opportunities, which is, I'm going to turn my mouse on, which is this icon for the app. It's two shaking hands, so this is where we'll be brought. I'm going to click create opportunity. And we're going to create a listing opportunity. And Market Center needs to stay with which market center you're currently conducting business in. So if you're in multiple market centers, so like you're in another state as well, so you're dual market centers, you'll choose which state you are doing business in. So I'm only in Englewood, Florida, so I'll click on Englewood. The type of opportunity type is a listing. If I want to change that, I'll click on this drop-down box. And I have different types, so listing, buyer, landlord, and tenant. We focus on the listing and the buyer mainly. So if I were to click on buyer, this would become a buyer opportunity, but I'm going to stay on listing. The owner is who owns this opportunity. So if you were on a team, your rainmaker would most likely be the owner of the opportunity. And the client must be a contact in your database. That has gone over another video, so we'll talk about that later. So I'm just going to type in the client's name, Mickey Mouse. We'll say Mickey doesn't have a co-seller, but if they did, I can click on here and it'll show up their related contacts. So if these contacts have a relation together, it'll pop up in the co-seller. And the opportunity name automatically calls it the name of the client dash listing. I'm going to change this to the property address actually. So I'm going to pretend that they live at 123 Main Street, USA. Custom tags, this is used for organizational purposes. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, but let's say you want to really break down where your business came from. You can create a tag specifically where this business is from. So I'm going to say Disney, and I'm going to create this custom tag for this property. It's Disney. Estimated close date. Let's say we don't have that. The commission rate is going to be our half of the commission. So I'm going to say 3%. We've done our homework already, so we know that our estimated listing price is, let's say, I don't know, 300,000. And we're going to start the opportunity phase off and cultivate and nurture. So opportunity phase cultivating means we are growing that relationship with them and building their trust and contact, building our mind share within their brains to think of us as their realtor. So if they're in opportunities stage, that would be nurturing, so between 1 and 12 months. And these are different than what you may have because I've changed these. You can change those two in a different section. So I'm going to go ahead and create this. And now we are inside the opportunity card. And we can go ahead and connect a property from our listings. And you can only select from the listing once it's been inputted into the MLS, and that's when it will appear. And you can say select from listings, and it'll appear in here. We're going to switch this to all listings, and it'll look like this if you have it under my listings only. I'm going to get rid of that. So now we go through, we can fill in any general information that we have, but let's say we need to go on the listing appointment. Okay, so we're going to get ready for the listing appointment. I clicked on documents so I can get the paperwork ready. And once I click on documents, I can come over here and check the pick checklist type. And I'll click on that, and it's going to be residential. And now here it's under listed. So this is all the paperwork that we're going to need. It's not in here yet, so we're going to need this list. This is just a list. So as we go through it, we can see that the requirement, so this first one is required, and that's the exclusive listing agreement. That is required. The residential listing form, which is the MLS data sheet, which I'm going to have to rename, is required. And this little I will give you the required information. So the current version signed and dated by all parties with the effective date. Seller's property disclosure is required. The KWRG real property information and agreement for sellers of real estate is required. Seller's estimated expenses is optional. Copy of county tax records is required. Copy of deed from county records is required. MLS printout required. Home warranty accepting or wavering required. Lead-based paint disclosure is conditionally required. MLS waivers conditionally required. HOA community disclosure conditionally required. Condo association disclosure conditionally required. KWRG frequently asked questions optional. And then conditionally required referral agreement. So now that I know I need these specific things, well, where do I get them? I'm going to go get them from Docusign. And to get into Docusign, I have my Docusign already connected. But if you need to connect your Docusign, we'll go over that in a different video. This is just strictly on uploading the paperwork. So I'm going to click Start a Transaction, and I'm going to choose Docusign. I'm going to log in. Again. So here I am inside of the room for Docusign, and a room is where all of the transaction paperwork will be held for a specific transaction. So you see that it's already created the name for this room, 123 Main Street, USA, listing. And in here are my documents where I'm going to add them. To make life easier, I'm going to actually click on Details first, and I'm going to have this information filled in to make life just a little bit easier. I'm going to fill in as much as I can, and for a listing, I'm going to click this Edit button and put in as much info as I have. So address, we'll call it Main Street, USA, and we're going to put it in. I don't know how to spell Bueno, so we're not going to do it. Actually, yeah, blank. Oops. County, there in Orange County, Florida. Well, anyways, this is how you fill that information in. Listing date. Say they're listing it today. The expiration date. So 23rd. Oh, yeah, original listing 300. We don't have an offer date yet because we're just going through the paperwork to get this signed for an offer or for an agreement of listing, a listing agreement. Don't have this information yet. See, this listing information has been pulled over, so my seller and my information as listing agent 1 is in here. And I'm going to click Save. Great. So any information that you fill in here will be able to go over into forms that you download into your Documents tab. So we're going to click Documents, and I'm going to click this blue Add button. And I'm going to click Docusign Forms. And once we're inside Docusign Forms, we're going to be able to choose between library and group. Group has the forms broken out for us. So I select group, and then I'm going to select the group. So this is going to be a listing package, single family. And here's all the paperwork that I will probably need. So I will need exclusive right. This, this, this. Lead-based paint, HOA, and we'll do this. I'll click Add. So So we added these. I'm not going to go through the full process of sending these out because that's in a different video. I just wanted to put paperwork in here so we can download things into our command to show you how that's done. So I'm going to now, I'm going to add some PDFs. We'll say we'll add this. Do this. I'm just adding documents right now to show an example. I'm going to add one more PDF. Okay. So I just added 3 PDFs and pretend that this is actually a little piece of paper that says it's green and it will say signed at the bottom. So we're going to pretend that these are green. Then I'm going to go to actions. I'm going to add folder and I'm going to call this folder signed. And I'll click create. So all my PDFs, select those by checking the little circles in the corner. And then I'm going to go up here, click the move button. It's going to ask me to send a destination, and I'm going to say folder. And I'm going to click signed. And see, these are the 3 documents I selected, and I'll click move. And now it moved the signed, I'm putting air quotes around the word signed because we're pretending these are signed documents, into my signed folder. And once I do that, I can go into command and let's say, okay, so it's required that I have my exclusive listing agreement. Okay, well, where do I go? Now I need to click add a file. So now it's asking me, where do I want to add this file from? It could be from the computer, which is going to be under manual, could be from Docusign, which is going to be what we're doing, or it could be from custom folders, which is documents you've uploaded independently into command. I'm going to click on Docusign. And now it shows me all of the documents that are inside of that Docusign folder, not just the signed ones, but every form. So to make it easier, I'm going to click on select folder here, and I'm going to choose signed. And now it's showing me only the signed documents. So I'm going to say that we're pretending this is my exclusive listing agreement, and I'll click assign. And that has been successfully uploaded. There it is. So residential listing form, let's do the same thing. I'll click add file, Docusign, select folder, signed, and we'll pretend this is my document residential listing form. Same thing, seller's property disclosure, Docusign, select folder, signed, and 36. We'll say this is my property disclosure. And you go through doing the same thing for all of these. So the copy of the county tax records and the copy of deed you're going to find through county records. You're not going to find that inside of Docusign. Same thing with the MLS printout. That is going to be from the MLS. So once I have all of my requireds and conditionally requireds in here, or even optionals, I'm going to click Submit to MC. And once that's submitted, Rhoda will go through it to make sure that it is compliant. So that means it has all signatures where they're supposed to be and names and spots that they're supposed to be as well. And that is really how you upload documents. And once it is uploaded, it's going to look like, I'm going to quickly do this, submit. So now it says it's submitted. And what Rhoda sees, the same thing I can see, is that there's going to be compliance requests up here. We're going to go to mine. So it looks exactly like what we just saw. And then she's going to review these documents. We'll say approve, approve. So these have all been approved. So we're pretending we've gone through all these and approved it. She's going to change this to approved. It's going to mark this as approved. And then on our end, it will also so it shows that it has been approved as well. If we're then, once all the listing documents are in and you have a contract coming in, we're going to switch over to under contract. And in under contract, we're going to go through the same process. So when the sales contract comes in that we are accepting, we're going to click add a file. We're going to choose where it comes from. You can upload that into Docusign, or you could manually upload it. And let's say I'm going to manually upload it because it was sent as a PDF to me. So I'll leave it on manual. Click browse. Downloads. We'll say this is the accepted contract. I'll click assign, and then we'll go through and do the same thing. So these are all the items that you'll need. Required sales contract, receipt for escrow deposit, MLS printout, change to pending, seller property disclosure signed by both parties, and the wire fraud disclosure signed by whoever you're representing needs to sign this wire fraud disclosure. So those are in there. You have to follow this checklist. And then once then, you submit to MC, and you'll go over and do an offers and commissions. And that will be a separate video. If you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. You can email me at blakewhitbold@kw.com, or you can text me. I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And just please let me know. Thanks, guys.